traveling southbound on the Eastex Freeway through Houston, Texas. Toups Graphics presents an Algebra 1 Star Quiz over simplifying algebraic expressions and solving equations. Question number 1. What is the constant of the simplified algebraic expression 5 parentheses 2x minus 7 minus parentheses 4x minus 12? Is it A, 23, B, 6, C, 47, or D, negative 23? To simplify this algebraic expression, we'll need to use the distributive property and then combine like terms. We'll first distribute the 5 to the 2x and the 7. To show this, we'll write a small 5 over the 2 and the 7. Now we'll multiply the 2x and the negative 7 by 5. 5 times 2x is 10x. And 5 times negative 7 would be negative 35. Now we'll distribute the negative sign to the 4x and the negative 12. To show this step, we'll put a negative sign over the 4x and a negative sign over the negative 12. If you multiply a negative or a negative 1 times 4x, you'll get negative 4x. Likewise, a negative or a negative 1 times negative 12 would be a positive 12. A good rule of thumb when simplifying algebraic expressions is to rewrite the problem without parentheses. Just like PEMDAS, you get rid of parentheses first. Now we have 10x minus 35 minus 4x plus 12. Now we'll do step 2, which is to combine the like terms. An easy way to do this is to single underline your x's or variables and double underline your constants. Sometimes you'll need triple or even quadruple underlines to combine your like terms. In this problem, we need to single underline the 10x and negative 4x and double underline the 35 and 12. Now we'll combine or add or subtract our single underlines of 10x and 4x. 10x minus 4x would be a positive or just 6x. Next, we'll combine our constants of negative 35 and positive 12. A negative 35 plus 12 would be a negative 23. That means our simplified algebraic expression would be 6x minus 23. Remember that your answer will have different parts. The 6 will be the coefficient. The letter x is called a variable, and the number without a letter, or the negative 23, is called a constant. If you were to go back to the problem wants the constant of the simplified algebraic expression. The constant would be negative 23, or choice D. Problem number 2. Solve the equation for the value of x. If 4x minus the quantity of 2x plus 5 equals 5x plus 10. To solve this equation, we must first get rid of the parentheses, then combine like terms. To get rid of the parentheses, we need to distribute the negative to the 2x and the 5. We'll first put a negative sign over the 2x and the 5. Drop the quantity of 4x. A negative 1 times 2x is negative 2x. And a negative 1 times 5 is a negative 5. And we'll set this quantity equal to 5x plus 10. Now we need to collect the like terms of 4x and 2x on the left-hand side. To combine the 4x and 2x, we'll single underline the x variables and double underline the quantity of negative 5. If you were to combine 4x and negative 2x, you would get a positive 2x. That makes our equation 2x minus 5 equal 5x plus 10. Now, the next step is to move the smallest quantity of your x variable, which would be the 2x. To move the quantity of a positive 2x, we'll put negative 2x under the 2x and the 5x. The negative 2x's on the left will cancel out, and 5x minus 2x on the right would be 3x. Now our equation would be negative 5 equal 3x plus 10. Now we need to isolate the variable of 3x by moving the positive 10 to the right. To move the quantity of positive 10, we'll put a negative 10 under the positive 10 and the negative 5. The positive and negative 10 on the right would eliminate, giving us negative 5 minus 10 is negative 15, or negative 15 equal 3x. Now that we have negative 15 equal 3x, we'll divide by the coefficient of 3. Negative 15 divided by 3 would be negative 5. That means our answer, negative 5, would equal to the quantity of x. Remember also that when you had the equation to negative 5 equal 3x plus 10, you could input the negative 5, 3, and 10 on the calculator and get your answer. To begin with, you would input negative 5 into the calculator. Then you would move the 10 across by subtracting 10. You would hit enter and then divide by the coefficient of 3. If you did these keystrokes, you would also get a negative 5 on your calculator. As we approach the intersection of Highway 1960 and Highway 59, it's time for a message from our sponsors. Today's quiz is sponsored by coefficient. It's the term number in front of a variable. And the distributive property. It allows you to multiply across the parentheses. And it's also sponsored by Pentagon T. Do you need to believe? You need Pentagon T. It's the symbol of excellence. This tutorial video will return after this commercial break. Are you having trouble with a problem on the STAR test? You need the Pentagon T eraser. It works in reverse. The Pentagon T eraser. It will give you more power to do your best on the STAR test. Just apply the Pentagon T eraser on a griddable answer grid and watch the answer magically appear. The Pentagon T eraser. It will help you always believe.
But wait, there's more!
If you order now, you'll get the Pentagon T tote bag. It will help you accessorize any outfit so that you will always believe. The Pentagon T eraser and tote bag can be yours for the low price of 4/5 of $100. Call 1-888-PASS-STAR. That's 1-888-PASS-STAR. As we continue our trip southbound on the Eastex Freeway through Houston, Texas, the tutorial quiz over simplifying algebraic expressions and solving equations continues. Question number 3. A rectangle has a perimeter of 56. Its length is 2x plus 11, and its width is 4x minus 13. Find the dimensions of the rectangle. First, we need to draw a rectangle and label the edges. The lengths are 2x plus 11, and the widths are 4x minus 13. Now we need to add up all the edges and set it equal to 56. Now that we've set them equal to 56, combine your x's. 2x plus 2x plus 4x plus 4x is equal to 12x. Now we have 12x plus 11 minus 13 equal 56. Now we need to combine the constants of positive 11, negative 13, and negative 13. If you were to combine those constants, you would get negative 4. Now we have our equation as being 12x minus 4 equal 56. When you get to this step, remember you can keystroke on your calculator. Start with the 56, move the negative 4 across by adding 4, hit enter, and divide by the coefficient of 12. To solve the equation by hand, let's move over the -4 by adding 4 to both sides. 56 plus 4 would be 60, so we would have 12x equals 60. Now, if you divide 60 by 12, you would get the answer of 5. Now that you know x is 5, replace the x in the length and the width. The length would be 2 times 5 plus 11, which would be 21, and the width would be 4 times 5 minus 13, which would be 7. That means the dimensions of the rectangle would be, the length would be 21, and the width would be 7. Question number 4. Emma Sue charges $20 per hour for tutoring plus a $15 fee. Lucy Claire only charges $25 per hour. At how many hours will the cost be the same? To get this answer, we need to use the growing number and starting number. We'll have gx plus s for Emma Sue equals gx plus s for Lucy Claire. Emma Sue's growing number is 20 and her starting number is 15. So we'll have 20x plus 15. Meanwhile, Lucy Claire has a growing number of 25 but has no starting fee. So her equation would be 25x. That means 20x plus 15 would equal to 25x. To solve this equation, we need to move the quantity of 20x to the right. So we'll subtract 20x from the left side and the right side. That will give us an answer of 15 equal 5x. Now we have 5x equal 15. The next step would be to divide by 5. 15 divided by 5 would be 3. That means at 3 hours, the cost for Emma Sue and Lucy Claire would be the same. As we travel through the intersection of Beltway 8 and the Eastex Freeway, let's do problem number 5. Question number 5. Bubba Bob charges $30 per hour and an $80 fee to do electrical work. On his last job, he made $260. How many hours did Bubba Bob work to make $260? This problem involves gx plus s equal total. In this problem, Bubba Bob charges $30 per hour. 30 would be the growing number, and an $80 fee to do electrical work. The $80 fee would be the starting number. He made $260, so $260 would be the total. That would give us an equation of 30x plus 80 equal 260. Remember, when you get the equation in this form, you can keystroke your calculator. Start with the 260, move over the positive 80 by minusing 80, hit enter, and divide by the coefficient of 30. To do this by hand, let's subtract the constant of 80. 260 minus 80 would be 180. Now our equation would be 30x equals 180. That gives us 30x equals 180. Now we'll divide by the coefficient of 30. 180 divided by 30 would be 6. That means at 6 hours, Bubba Bob will make $260. Now it's time for a word from our sponsors. Today's video is sponsored by Constant. Constant. It's the number without a variable. In the expression 5x plus 12, 12 would be the constant. By the expression gx plus s, the g would be your growing number and the s would be the starting number. And the associative property. Do you need to collect like terms? The associative property lets you add or multiply in any order.
Isn't it great that Sonic is offering proportional pops?
That's right. I can get this 24-ounce soda pop for $1.20.
Wow. And I could get the Manly Man 40-ounce soda pop for just $2.
Cool. Did you know if you make a ratio comparison to the price, the size of the pop, The cross products are equivalent. Yeah.
That's right, boy. And if you divide your ratios, you get 5 cents an ounce.
Whoa. Did you know that 5 cents is called the constant of variation?
The constant of variation?
The constant of variation.
That means if you multiply your pop size by the constant of variation, you can get the price.
That's right, Dad. I mean, tribute means a 12-ounce pop would only cost 60 cents.
Just 60 cents for a 12-ounce pop?
Just 60 cents.
You know, you keep drinking these proportional pops, it'll turn you into a manly man. You'll probably start growing a goatee.
The proportional pop deals. Only at Sonic. As we continue our journey southbound on the Eastex Freeway through Houston, Texas, the Pentagon T, Toups Graphics, always believe Staar quiz over simplifying algebraic expressions and solving equations continues. Problem number 6. Simplify the algebraic expression 2x squared plus 4x minus 7 minus the quantity of 5x squared minus 3x minus 5, and also find the constant of the answer. To get this answer, we need to get rid of the parentheses. We need to distribute the minus in the middle to the 5x squared minus 3x minus 5. To show the distributive property, put a minus or negative sign over the 5, the 3, and the 5. Now we'll rewrite the problem. We'll start with the 2x squared, we'll drop the plus 4x, and we'll also drop the minus 7. Now we need to distribute the negative. Negative 1 times 5x squared would be negative 5x squared. Negative 1 times negative 3x would be plus 3x, and a negative 1 times a negative 5 would be a positive 5. Now, an easy way to collect your like terms is to single underline the x squares, double underline the x terms, and triple underline the constants of negative 7 and 5. Let's first combine the x squared terms or single underline. If you were to combine 2x squared minus 5x squared, you would get minus 3x squared. If you were to combine 4x plus 3x, you would get positive 7x. And if you were to combine negative 7 and positive 5, you would get a negative 2. The constant of the answer is the number without a variable, or negative 2. So if you were to simplify the algebraic expression, you would get negative 3x squared plus 7x minus 2, and the constant of the answer would be negative 2. Question number 7. Write the algebraic expression that gives you the following list of numbers: 9, 16, 23, 30, 37, and 44. To get this answer, we need to find the growing number and starting number and use the formula gx plus s. If you were to look at your list of numbers, if you were to add 7, you would get to the next term. So adding 7 would give you to the next term. 7 would be the growing number. So our expression would start with 7x. To get the starting number, we need to find the 0 term. We need to go 1 unit to the left of 9. If you were to subtract 7 from 9, you would get 2. That means a starting number would be 2. So our expression 7x plus 2 would give us our answer. Problem number 8. If 4x plus 9 equal 8x minus 23, what would the value of 5x be? To get the answer, we must first solve 4x plus 9 equal 8x minus 23 for x. To do this, the smallest quantity of x would be 4x. We'll move 4x to the right side of the equation by subtracting 4x. That would make our equation 9 equal 4x minus 23. Remember, when you get the equation in this form, you can keystroke your calculator. Start with a 9, move the negative 23 over by adding 23, hit enter, and divide by the coefficient of 4. To do this by hand, we'll add 23 to both sides. 9 plus 23 is 32. So now we have 32 equal 4x. We'll divide by coefficient of 4, and 32 divided by 4 would be 8. Now that we know x is equal to 8, we need to replace x with 8 in the 5x. 5 times 8 would be 40, so the value of 5x would be 40. Now it's time for a word from our sponsors. Today's video is sponsored by distributing a negative sign. Let's say you have 4x plus 5 minus the quantity of 7x minus 4. Remember, you need to distribute the minus in the middle to the 7x and the 4 by putting a negative over the 7 and 4. Now you want to rewrite the problem without parentheses. When we do this, the 4x will drop, and so will the positive 5. The negative over the 7x will make it minus 7x. Likewise, the two negatives over the 4 make it a positive 4. Now combine like terms. 4x minus 7x is negative 3x, and 5 plus 4 is 9. Pentagon T announces a new cell phone app to help you study for the STAR test. It will show you how to get the area of common geometric shapes. It will show you how scale factors enlarge and reduce an object. It will show you the common Pythagorean triples. It will also show you the common fraction decimal percent conversions. The Pentagon T cell phone app. It will help you always believe. As we continue our journey southbound on the Eastex Freeway in Houston, Texas, approaching the 610 North Loop, the Pentagon T Toups graphics always believe quiz over simplifying expressions and solving equations continues. Question number 9. It costs 15 cents for the first candy, then 10 cents for each candy after that. What expression gives you the cost of n candies and pennies? Is it A, 15n plus 10, B, 10n plus 15, C, 15 plus 10, parentheses n minus 1, or D, 25n? To get this answer, we need to make a T-chart comparing the candies to the cost. We know that 0 candies would cost 0 pennies, so 0 would be 0. The first candy would cost 15 cents. Then after that, we'll keep adding 10 cents. So 2 candies would cost 25 cents. If we add another 10 cents, 3 candies would cost 35 cents. And adding another 10 cents, 4 candies would cost 45 cents. Now we'll take the value of 4 candies, which is 45 cents, and see what expression they work in. If we were to take choice A, 15n plus 10, and replace n with 4, we would get 70 cents, not 45. So choice A is incorrect. If we were to take choice B, 10n plus 15, and replace n with 4, 10 times 4 plus 15 would be 55. So choice B is also incorrect. Now let's try choice C. If we were to write down 15 plus 10, parentheses n minus 1, and replace the n with 4, we would get 15 times 10 times 3, which is 30. 15 plus 30 would be 45. So choice C matches up. Choice C is the correct answer. Question number 10. Jimminy John charges $32 per hour for mechanical work plus a $25 fee. What expression gives you his total cost after H hours? Is it A, 32H plus 25, B, 25H plus 32, C, 57H, or D, 7H? To get this answer, we need to use GX plus S. We know his growing number, or fee per hour, is $32, so G is 32. We also know that his starting fee is $25, so S is equal to 25. If you were to substitute 32 and 25 into the formula, you would get 32H plus 25. So choice A, 32H plus 25, is the correct answer. As we approach downtown Houston on the Eastex Freeway, this quiz over simplifying expressions and solving equations has been produced by Toups Graphics. Toups Graphics. Always believe. It's been sponsored by Pentagon Tea. Do you need to believe? You need Pentagon Tea.